Hey man, what up, man? Tuesday, January 30th, NBA best bets, and I've got two of my favorite player props in today's video. We're also going to go game by game, and I'm going to give you a lean or one of my best bets. If you're liking this type of video, you know what to do. Let's get into the recap and let's go. We hit them with the 2-0 sweep in yesterday's video, Cavs -6, and the Nuggets Knicks under. Now, always check the pinned comments, guys, because sometimes I will cash out a play. If you bet on Bet365, you can cash out at certain times, really anytime before the game. And I did do that once. Once I made yesterday's video, Darius Garland literally got ruled out in the middle of posting yesterday's video. So ended up retaking that at -6. No matter what you got it at, you could have taken it at -14.5. They get it done. Nuggets, Knicks, goes under just like I thought it would. Every trend was telling me to take the over. We did the opposite and took the under. Gets it done. In VIP last night, Miles Turner, over 1.5 assists, gets it done. Lou Dort doesn't get all the way there. Clippers -3.5, bang. And Nuggets, they ended up kind of getting blown out in that fourth quarter there. Nuggets played really well at home towards the end of that game. But today in VIP, if you use code Turner, you'll get off 50% off any package, man. The link will be in the description for VIP. But don't forget, free Discord, other deposit matches, everything in the description. But we got a 5-game NBA slate. Let me stop yapping. Let's get to it. First game on the board is the Atlanta Hawks versus the Cleveland Cavs. Cleveland Cavs, about 10-point favorites here. I did like them yesterday, so if you tailed yesterday, let's go. But today, Hawks, you know, I don't love the spot for him, and I mainly say that because they're going to be without Clint Capella now. Clint Capella is also hurt now. Jalen Johnson is out. Trae Young looks like he's going. But for the Cavs, yesterday, they played last night, so they're on a back-to-back. They do have Darius Garland back. He was just resting yesterday, so you don't got to be worried about an injury. He should be coming back. But a couple game-time decisions here, it's looking like. Caris LeVert was ruled out yesterday. Does he come back today? He's been kind of out for a string of games now. Same thing with Isaac Okoro. I do know Dean Wade's going to be out, so you have some guys kind of in and out of that lineup, but they're main guys. They're their main role players that they're rocking with. I know Caris LeVert is a pretty big role player for them, but you got Max Strus, you got everybody else, man. So I'm still leaning the Cavs here. I just think the injuries to the Hawks here is going to start kind of playing a factor. I think you're going to have to start having Trae Young actually put up some points. And against this Cavs team where they're putting up 120 points every game, I don't know if I can trust the Hawks. Last 3 games, 96 points, 92 points, 94 points. If they're putting up that many or even 105, Cavs are putting up 120. They're not covering this. So I lean the Cavs here. Even on a back-to-back, they are 5-4 against the spread on a back-to-back, so nothing crazy. I mean, it's not like they're just covering on back-to-backs like crazy, but they should have everybody in this game. Max Strus, I mean, he's been having some decent games here, solid role player. I'm not big on betting on role players unless if I really love the spot or it's somebody I've cashed with consistently. Max Strus isn't someone I typically back, but if somebody does back him, hey, maybe you like the spot today. Darius Garland, it seems like he's always recently been hitting his assists or landing right on the hook almost every game. Now, against the Hawks, I feel like he could rack up assists, but he could also rack up points. Usually in these type of spots, you end up having to almost take points plus assists. If you want to take that for Garland today, rock with it. Donovan Mitchell at 25.5. Now, against the Hawks, he could definitely hit that, but I really don't like betting on him this year unless if his line is in that 21 to 23.5 point range. I know it's against the Hawks. Hawks are really bad defense. 25.5, I just don't like that line for him this year. This year's been a little too inconsistent for me. But my first best bet here, we do have a best bet in this game. It's Evan Mobley over 2.5 assists today. I absolutely love the spot for Mobley. I think he absolutely crushes this line, man. Against the Hawks, let me pull it up here, sorry. Over 2.5 at -125. I would play it up into that -135, -140 range. Or you could take it even at plus odds today. I would even ladder this up. I really like the spot because Hawks, bottom 10 defense. We all know they're a bottom 10 defense and assists allowed, bottom 10 defense, and just defense in general, man. This Hawks defense is not very good. When Mobley has played 25 plus minutes and against a bottom 15 defense in assists allowed and a bottom 15 defense in the restricted area, we all know right now they have no size in that restricted area. So they're bottom 15 defense already. Now without those other big men there, they're even going to be worse. Mobley has hit that 10 and 15 games this year when facing that type of spot. Now, it makes it even sweeter here because when he's played 25 plus minutes and facing a defense that's in bottom 15 and assists allowed, and they play at a top 10 pace, the Hawks are like play at a top 3 pace here. He's hit this 9 of 11 and had 4 plus in 7 of those 9. So today, like I said, you can ladder this up for Mobley. I love the spot. Now, for Mobley, I'm not going to lie. He's been having monster rebound games since coming back from injury. If you really like his rebounds, rock with RA. Evan Mobley this year has had some great scoring games. great scoring games. If you want to rock with his points here against a bad Hawks defense, I love his PRA. The thing here is, I could see this game being a blowout. In blowouts, he does tend to hit his assist line there a little bit more than he does his PRA line if you add everything together. Because if the Cavs blow up by the Hawks by 25, he might get up 3 assists real quick in the first half, first 3 quarters, and then not play the fourth. It's hard for him to score a lot of points and get a lot of rebounds and all that stuff if he's only going to play first 3 quarters. You get my point? So, like his assist there the most, and then if you really like the other spots there, I really do like the spot. But let's move on to that next game there, because that is my favorite play, man, is Evan Mobley today. LA Lakers versus the Washington Wizards. This spread, when I woke up this morning, was like -6 or -6.5. This spread has bumped up so quick. It's like -8.5 now. Now, maybe my eyes weren't working this morning, and maybe it was -8, and I'm just out of it. Maybe I was just out of it this morning, but I'm pretty sure this morning this spread was 6.5, 7, and now it's 8.5. Now, I would have told you to take the Lakers if it had been at 6. The more it creeps up, I think you're going to, by the time this video gets out, it could be 9, 9.5. So, I don't want to say to take the Lakers here, mainly because they're going to be without AD. AD is going to be out for a little bit. Anthony Davis is going to be out for a little bit. And Lakers, I don't love them. I don't love them. Now, I do got to say, this could be a spot for player props today, though, for the Lakers. Without AD, I feel like it kind of narrows down who they're going to be going to. LeBron this year, without Anthony Davis, has put up like 30-point games, hitting his points line that it's set at today. Now, last year, didn't really do it that much. Austin Reeves, I feel like he could... Austin Reeves so wishy-washy right now with me, man. I have not bet on him a lot, but I want to, and I look at his lines almost every day since D'Lo has been shipped off to Brooklyn, and I feel like he either has a monster game, he's been kind of doing his thing on rebounds and assists, but his points are so inconsistent, man. He has a lot of games scoring like 14, 15 points. So, against the Wizards, I want to say that he could have a game here, but I'm not in love with it, you know, and do I really want to risk that today? I mean, if that was going to be a confidence score, I would tell you to put half a unit on it. Like, I would maybe lean Austin Reeves over, but half a unit. Like, I can't, it's not a full unit play for me. Max Christie, same thing without AD. He's had some games going over this, but also he's had some, in those games, usually shot like 5 for 8, 5 for 9, 6 for 10, where he's shooting a really good percentage. He could definitely do that versus the Wizards, but your off past game logs, when he's been going over it's because he's been shooting pretty well. But as against the Wizards, he could get up 10 plus shots today just because the Wizards play at such a fast pace, just like the Hawks. We just talked about them. Wizards play like a top 3 pace, top 4 pace, and they get up a lot of shots. They also turn the ball over a lot. That could lead to wide open threes for Christie or some transition points for some of those other guys. So I lead the Lakers here, but you know, Wizards props here. Last time they played earlier this year, I took Kyle Kuzma over rebounds. He always has big rebounding games. Against his old team in the Lakers, he always seems to want to get up the volume, get a lot of rebounds, get assists. I don't love the spot for him today, really, as much as I did earlier this year when they faced, so I'm staying away from him. Another guy I was looking at was Jonas Valanciunas, man. I'm going to keep on saying it. If Alexander Sarr sits, if the rookie center there for the Wizards sits, I don't mind Jonas Valanciunas. Without AD there, he's going to be going against Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes, honestly isn't a bad defender, but he also has a lot of mishaps. So, you know, maybe Jonas Valanciunas could be a spot, but, you know, I'm not in love with it. As you can tell in my voice, everything in that game would be a half unit or less play. Like, it's just not a great game in my opinion. And honestly, I don't like these small slates. You guys will learn. You'll learn real quick on these small slates. I usually don't love them, but, you know, today in VIP, I think I do have 3 or 4 plays. So, for only a 5-game slate, I don't mind it that much, you know what I'm saying? But that game's just not my favorite. Let's move on to the third game there. Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Utah Jazz. Minnesota versus Utah. Minnesota about a 7-point favorite here. Nothing crazy, man, because honestly, Jazz have been getting smoked. To only see Minnesota here about a 7-point favorite, yeah, I bet it creeps up. I bet it creeps up to 8, 8.5, possibly even by the time this video comes out. Right now, I see it at 7, 7.5. Jazz lost by 11 to the Warriors, lost by 15 to the Bucks, lost by 23 to the Grizzlies, lost by 9 to the Thunder, lost by 4 to the Pelicans, lost by 13 to the Pelicans, lost by 5 to the Hornets, beat the Nets by 1, lose to the Suns by 8, lose to the Heat by 5. Not very good games. I mean, not very good games. To only see Minnesota 7.5 here after they're on a 4-game win streak, just beat the Mavs, the Nuggets, the Hawks, and the Suns. Some of those teams not the greatest, but also some of those teams with high playoff hopes still. Suns, Nuggets, and the Mavs. I know Mavs are kind of banged up right now, but still, to only see them 7.5, Also, Timberwolves have beat the Jazz 5 straight games. Every one of those games by 10 or more points. I don't know what's going on with the spread. I mean, right now you could say it's a little bit fishy, or you could smack on the Timberwolves. You take the Timberwolves because I think everything's telling you to take the Timberwolves spread. I'm not in love with it. I'm just not. Now, maybe I would be if there wasn't a guy I absolutely loved in this game. I absolutely love him. I've taken him so many times. It brings us to our second best bet, man. Lauri Markkanen over 19.5 points. Guys, I love the spot for Lauri, man. I've taken him so many times in this exact spot, and I got some stats to back it up. If you're trusting the stats, ride with them. If you're not trusting the stats, throw them in the garbage. But he's been money for me this year, man. I think I'm 3-1 on Markkanen props this year. I've taken his under once or twice. I've taken his over once or twice. We've been smacking on him, man, because for this exact reason. When the Jazz play in close games within 12 points, he smacks this. When the games are blowouts, he usually goes under. That's usually when you want to take an under, is when you expect the Jazz to get blown out. Today, the spread's only -7.5. So, I don't mind it, man. Here's why. Because when games have been within 12 points, Lauri Markkanen has hit this 14 of 22 games this year. Last year, in games within 12 points, he hit this 25 of 27. You can see the stats on the screen, man. Don't mind my slow reading here. The Harvard degree didn't get me many places. But Timberwolves 2-4 against the spread on back-to-backs, and the spread's only -7, 7.5, -8, whenever this video comes out, whatever it's at. In close games, Lauri Markkanen hits this, man. I love the spot for Lauri today. That is my favorite prop. I don't even really, you know what? Not really any other props I'm really loving there. Maybe Jaden McDaniels under. And that's only because that point line, he has been smacking it as of late, but it's kind of more buying at his highest. Buying at the high point for Jaden McDaniels and taking the under. But I love Lauri Markkanen there. That is my second best bet, man. And that is the second best bet of the video. Second to last game, and you could argue that it's the best game on the board today, the Houston Rockets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. A little surprised the spread is -5. I'm not going to lie to you. I do lean the Grizzlies in this game, but I really feel like I want to wait for the spread. If you do like the Grizzlies, I would wait. I really feel like there could be some people buying in on the Rockets here before game time, and this spread could maybe move in that -3.5, -4 area. That's what I would be hoping for if you're a Grizzlies backer today. Because Rockets have beat the Grizzlies 3 straight games. But the main thing going here for the Grizzlies is if you're backing a trend here, they just lost last game to the Knicks. The Grizzlies this year are the league's best at covering the spread off a loss. After a loss, they're 13-2 against the spread this year. That's the best in the NBA. Best in the NBA. And usually when they come off a loss, they come back that next game and smack the other team. Like they're putting up and beating the other team by 10 plus points. Now, Houston, they're on a little road trip here. On the road trip, they're 3-0. Do you think they have a hiccup on the road? I mean, right now, man, it's hard to go against that Rockets team. Amin Thompson's playing insane. If he has a monster game, Jalen Green, I mean, they just have so many weapons there, man. They are deep. They are real deep. Alperen Sengun could have a game. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to go against this Rockets team right now. They are probably one of my favorite teams just because of how they're playing and how good their defense is. I love backing them. But Houston on the road here, if they were at home and the spread was this, I would be like, how can you not take the Rockets? But Grizzlies off a loss, that's what I'm going with here is continuing with that, man. I've done it with the Celtics this year. Off a loss, it's almost just been printing money. You automatically back them. They might not win today, but next game that they come off a loss, you back them again, and then they'll get you your money back. Like that's honestly how it's been, man. So I still got to rock with the Grizzlies. I've liked the Grizzlies every time these teams have met up this year. I think they met up 2 or 3 different times this year. I've liked the Grizzlies every time, and they've lost every time. I think it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, and it's at Memphis, and they're coming off a loss. So I lean Memphis there. Now, some player props, if you want to rock, honestly, if you want to rock with Ja Morant, he's hit his points line almost every game versus the Rockets. Some Rockets props I wasn't even minding or I got to bring up. Alperen Sengun, assists is at 4.5 today on the road. He has been hitting that a lot. He's also had some huge rebounding games versus the Grizzlies. 2 of the 3 games that they faced off this year, he's had double-digit rebounds. So he could do that today. Double-double for Sengun. I mean, I think it's definitely possible. The thing that's kind of steering me away is Amin Thompson. He's like a wild card for them. Does he come out and put up 30 points? Does he come out and put up 12 points, 18 rebounds? Like this dude is all over the stat sheet, and we don't know what he's going to be putting up. So I feel like if you do like Amin Thompson, you almost got to rock his PRA because he can go out there, put up 14 points, not hit his points line, but then he gave you 14 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, this dude is insane. He's insane. So for me, honestly, I just like the Grizzlies. I lean the Grizzlies in that game, but I would really hope that line drops. If it goes up, it's a stay away probably. I'm not going to be back in the Grizzlies at 5.5 or -6. So if that's what that line is at by the time this video is posted, for me it's a stay away, and then maybe would pivot to some more player props. But I also lean the over. I lean the over in this game at 238. I just think without that Rockets team's playing, their offensive rating is through the roof, top 5 in the NBA. Grizzlies top 5 in the NBA, and I'm telling you, off a back-to-back, they have had some monster games coming off back-to-backs. So lean the over. Maybe that would be where I'd pivot there, is leaning the over, not even backing a player prop, if that spread does go up to -5.5, -6. But we'll see what the lines mess around with there. I think that'll be no matter what, that'll be a game that I would be taking a play more around 2-3 today, kind of see what the lines play off as, and then try to grab it at the time that you think is the best line. You know what I'm saying? If you think the best line is going to be at 1 p.m. today or 10 p.m. today and you see it moving and you're like, hey, I think that's the best it's going to get, snag it. That's kind of how I'm feeling. But last game on the board, Orlando Magic versus the Portland Trailblazers. Orlando. I backed them last game versus the Heat. They have a double overtime thriller and lose, blow the game multiple times in that game. Still salty about it because that would have been a great Monday if they didn't blow that game. But today, about -5.5, really low total, 213. I really am not in love with these totals. But honestly, I probably would lean the under. I would probably lean the under only because the Magic's offense is very hard. I mean, their defense, you can always kind of consistently back them, but their offense is sometimes very inconsistent. If Jalen Suggs is coming back, I just feel like, yes, they're getting more guys back, but these guys really haven't played much together. Now, I know they've played the past couple years together, but I don't know if I'd be loving an over. I don't know if I'd be loving an over because even the past couple games, yeah, they put up, the last game went flying over. That was a double overtime game. Game before that flew over versus the Pistons. But before that, they couldn't even score 100 points. Now, with Franz and Paolo being back, I obviously expect them to get it rolling here at some point. So I do lean the Magic. I don't know if I'm leaning in the spread or just money line, Magic money line, Franz Wagner 15 points. I don't even know. This isn't my favorite game today. Just because the Magic have been kind of inconsistent. They've been kind of inconsistent now. I do expect them to get it going, but you can't sit here and tell me this Trailblazers team hasn't been kind of annoying today or this year as well. They're not the worst team in the NBA here. I know past couple years they've been a dumpster fire, but 18-29 this year, not the worst record. They're 26-20 though against the spread. I mean, they're not horrible. And they have some games here where, Scoot Henderson balls out, Anthony Simons shoots real hot, Denny Advia drops 30 points. I mean, like, man, DeAndre Ayton you never know what you're getting with DeAndre Ayton. So I don't love this game. A couple things to point out here, though, I guess. I did look at Wendell Carter today. I'd be a little scared of Wendell Carter, I guess you could say, only because Goga Biazza is back. With him back in that lineup, I don't know what Wendell Carter's minutes are going to be. Yes, last game they went into double overtime. He played 35 minutes, but if you take out the last 10 minutes of that game, in the 2 overtimes, he played both overtimes, I'm pretty sure, the whole entire both quarters of the overtimes. So if you take off those 10 minutes, he would have only played 25 minutes. Goga Piazza's first game back played 22. So it's like they're splitting those minutes very evenly. I would not expect Wendell Carter to come out here today and get 33, 34, 35 plus minutes unless the game goes into overtime. So when you're looking at Wendell Carter, when he's only getting about 20 to 28 minutes, a lot of his props, I don't love them. Like, you would have to be leaning more under or staying away. And for me, it's a stay away. If he was getting 30 plus minutes, 28 plus minutes, I would be all over his rebounds today. All over it, because against DeAndre Ayton, he always is hitting this line, getting double-digit rebounds even some games. So if you still like it, that would probably be one of my favorite leans would be Wendell Carter, but man, don't take it expecting him to get 28 plus minutes today. He might only get 25. Goga Biazza gets 23. Like, it might be right around even there with those guys' minutes. So for me, it's a stay away. Just, you could risk it for the biscuit, man, but I don't want to risk it for the biscuit today. We're up for the week. Had a great day yesterday. Had a great Monday. Tuesday was garbage. But 5-game NBA slate today. 2 best bets. I have a couple more in VIP. Remember, if you use code Turner today, you will get 50% off any package in VIP. Everything is in the link in the description. Free Discord in the link in the description. If you're ever having trouble accessing those, comment on the video. DM me on another social platform. And hey, we'll get it to you, man. We'll get it rolling. But January 30th, let's make it another good one, man. Let's keep it running up. Let's go.